What is up, guys? It's Swimmer here, back again with some more Go Battle League action. Going to be playing in the Love Cup once again. I know I promised some battles with a team of Wormadam, Metacham, and Alomomola, and I do have those recorded, but I've actually been using this team of Castform, Double Waterfaller, um, a little bit more recently, and it is so much fun. I've been having so much success with it. I've climbed up to about 3,325 rating, so I did make it onto the leaderboard today um, at 3312 at number 450 or something. So it's not like I'm super high up or anything like that, but pretty pleased to get back up there. And basically, you've got Castform on the lead with Ember, Weather Ball, Solar Beam, Milotic with Waterfall, Surf, and ideally you'd have Hyper Beam. Didn't unlock the second move because my Milotic isn't very good, and I wanted to see sort of if I'd really need it before unlocking it. And so far, out of about 10 sets or something like that with this team, I haven't actually needed Hyper Beam once. So um, you might not need to unlock it. And then Alomomola is the safe swap here with Waterfall, Hydro Pump, and Psychic. And the reason that you don't really need Hyper Beam is that if they have two Pokemon that beat either Alomomola or Milotic in the back, like let's say they've got both an Electrode and a Vileplume in the back, you're going to lose anyways. Um, so if they've got something that resists the Waterfall uh, and Alomomola doesn't draw it out, then you probably have no chance. Either way you look at it. So basically the strategy with this team is for Alomomola to draw out a counter to the water type, and because it's so bulky, it can almost always get to a Psychic before going down. So for example, if they swap in a Vileplume, um, Alomomola can get to a Psychic before getting Razor Leafed down, and the Vileplume does need to shield the Psychic. Likewise, against Electrode, it can get to the Psychic before getting Volt Switched down and Discharged down, since it can survive one discharge. And because of the combined Waterfall damage and Psychic, it's really risky for that Electrode not to shield. So then you take the shield advantage, come back in with Castform, and hope that your Milotic can clean up their backline. In terms of Pokemon that counter this team, Slowpoke, Slowbro, Slowking, obviously all of them are sort of the same. Your best bet is to get your Alomomola lined up against it and land a Hydro Pump. They're not that likely to shield because none of the charge moves are super threatening. And then you just sort of have to hope that you can either Ember down or Waterfall down or something like that. And it's really a team effort to take out the Slowbro. So let's go ahead and get right into the battles. All right, I've had so much fun with this team, so wanted to make sure that you guys had an opportunity to play it before Love Cup went away. We get Vileplume on the lead. This is ideal. This is where we want to see it. They come into a Charmer. This is still a pretty good matchup for us, and we probably make a mistake there. What we should have done is thrown a Weather Ball before swapping out into Clefable, because this is going to put us in a little bit of a tough spot if they decide to double shield. So we're going to be able to get to another Surf here. We're actually going to shield so that we do get to the other Surf, and the goal here, the reason that we're shielding there is that shields down, I know that Alomomola actually can beat Vileplume, so I want them to have to get shields down if they want to win this. So we can come back in with Clefable now, and we've got a Weather Ball stored for whatever comes in. It is Crustle coming in. We're going to build up to a Solar Beam and actually go for the Solar Beam here. Hopefully this will take them out. Does not quite take them out, but does get them very low. We're able to Waterfall down, and then the Vileplume is not going to be able to take us out with Razor Leaf before we get to the Psychic. You guys can see we comfortably get to that Psychic, and Vileplume doesn't really have any low energy charge moves, so we're actually going to be able to outpace it too. So Getting shields down there from the Clefable was the key to sort of overcome the fact that I made a mistake by not throwing the Weather Ball before switching into Milotic. But that was a good game, well played by my opponent. Obviously, that was a pretty tough lead for them to come back from, and their backline really struggled against my backline. The Charmer and the Crustal, Milotic and Alomomola handled that really, really well. So. Alright, hopefully we can find another match here. Alright, here we go, up against Karizita. So we've got Castform into Medicham here. The way I like to play this is to go straight for the Weather Ball. And so the Weather Ball happens at 6 counters. It is 8 counters to get to both Dynamic Punch and Psychic. So I think the right play is to throw 2 more Embers and then swap. I actually was not able to swap successfully there, and they bait me with an Ice Punch, which is really not good. We do swap in now, and they come in with Wormadam, so that's actually not too bad for us. We're going to go ahead and build up here. We can tank whatever this is. Don't want to go down 2 shields to none just yet. So we've got the Hydro Pump here. We're going to go for the Psychic, hoping to get a shield, to be honest, but it's not really all that likely that they shield. However, they actually do, so this is pretty good for us. We're going to go for another Psychic here, and there's almost no way that they shield this. And they do let it go, and they're actually going to have to throw in order to take us out. So this is pretty good for us. They're energy dry, and we were able to get a shield, and we can definitely come back in with Castform and Farm. They swapped out into the Medicham, so I come in with my Milotic here, and I've got to make a call. I think that they're probably going to go for the Psychic. However, they bait me again with the Ice Punch, so that's really not good. That's probably game over to get baited twice with Ice Punch. The Psychic does come through now and takes me out. We'll have to see what they've got in the back. They actually come in with the Wormadam, and so I'm forced to throw into this Wormadam. Otherwise, I probably would have got Confusion down. You know what? I could have thrown another Waterfall to take them out, but honestly, it doesn't matter here because they're going to be able to easily outpace us here. Well, not so much outpace us, but they're going to be able to take us out with the rock throws. This Weather Ball would not KO, even if it did connect. So even if I'd gotten the Surf off on the Crustal, it wouldn't have been any different when it comes to the outcome. So good game there. Very well played by my opponent. Landing the 2 baits, the 2 Ice Punch baits with the Medicham was pretty devastating. That was, I think, more or less any other. If I call either one of those baits, I win that match. But unfortunately was not able to. So props to my opponent for recognizing the importance of landing those baits. All right, in this next one, we've got Castform into Medicham, so going to look to do this the same way. Going to go ahead and build up to this Weather Ball, and they're throwing right away at the Power-Up Punch, so no need to shield this. The Power-Up Punch is not going to deal a lot of damage. Still want to throw this Weather Ball, and now I'm definitely going to swap into a Alomomola because it puts my opponent in a pretty tough situation where they've got to decide whether they want to stay in and keep their buff or swap out. They actually decide to swap out into Vileplume, and they did it before I had even finished my swap, so pretty interesting choice there. We are able to make it to the Psychic and force the shield. We can safely shield up the Sludge Bomb here and then look to Ember down this Vileplume. They're definitely not going to make it to another charge move. And it's a Mag Cargo in the back. So here you guys are going to see the problem with not waiting out the clock. So because I didn't wait out the clock, I'm forced to stay in that matchup. And as a result, that Mag Cargo can basically farm me down. However, I'm able to successfully call the Power-Up Punch. Here, they didn't actually build up to anything more, so wasn't really super threatening. I can shield up the Power Up Punch now because I want to maintain a little bit of health on the Milotic. And then I've got back-to-back Surfs here. This Mag Cargo can shield one, but Surf is probably enough to take out like 3 Mag Cargos because it is double super effective. So this is definitely going to be taking them out, and that's going to be a good game. Mag Cargo in the back is basically useless against this team because it's like, I don't know, 5 Waterfalls or something to take it out, and um, it can't get to a charge move usually against a Waterfaller. So really strong against Mag Cargo in the back. So anytime you see that, you're probably going to have a good time. All right, so lesson from that match there was waiting out the switch clock is important. So definitely want to wait out the switch clock anytime you can. Just gives you the most flexibility. I guess the only time that you don't want to is when you need your opponent to stay locked into a bad matchup. And then that's when managing their switch clock can be just as important as managing your own. But definitely was not the right call there not to wait it out just a little bit. All right, we've got Castform into Talonflame here, so this is probably a pretty neutral matchup, but I've got 2 better counters in the back, so I'm just going to swap out. And here comes a Slowbro. So this is really not good for me. I was saying Slowbro is a nightmare for this team. Because it's a Shadow Slowbro, this is going to deal a ton of damage. I let it come through knowing that I can get to the Hydro Pump, and I want to no-shield to encourage them to no-shield as well. However, they actually shield the Slowbro, and that is game over for me. I have more or less no win condition at this point. I really, really needed to get the damage off so that I had a, I didn't have to come in with and deal resisted fast move damage. But given that they shielded, we're in a pretty tough spot here. We're going to go ahead and throw a Weather Ball to deal some nice chip damage and get it a little lower. But we've got to let this go. And now Milotic has got to carry this against 2 Pokemon without shield advantage. So we're definitely in a tough spot. And there's an Electrode in the back. So that's definitely going to be a good game. We can maybe take out this Electrode just because Waterfall is very powerful, and it's not resisted by the Electrodes. We're able to get to the back-to-back Surf here. This should be just as they're getting enough energy for another Discharge, I think. And we are able to get the second Surf off, so this is going to take out the Electrode likely, and then Talonflame's coming back in, but we're too low at this point to really threaten this Talonflame. You can see that the next Fire Spin would have KO'd, even if they didn't get the charge move there, and we were just about to get the Surf, but unfortunately, just not quite enough bulk on Milotic to get it done. Now, if Milotic had Weather Ball Water, we could have won that match, but that would be pretty crazy, to be honest. All right. Castform into Cherrim. This is definitely where we want to see it. They swap into Talonflame. We're going to go into our Milotic. Anytime they swap into a fire type like this, you want to go into a Milotic as opposed to Alomomola because your Alomomola is more versatile with the Psychic. So they throw the Brave Bird, and that means that the Waterfalls KO very quickly. For some reason, we could not get the Surf off. That's definitely a little strange. We're going to go ahead and throw the Weather Ball here because I want to take out this Cherrim before it gets to a charge move, which we do. They've got a Porygon in the back. This is looking pretty good for us because their fast moves are doing no damage, and we have 2 shields. So likely what I'm going to do here is let this go. Yep, do let it go. The Tri-Attack does not KO. I'm going to go for a Weather Ball here, hopefully to burn the shield. They do get to another charge move, so we're definitely going to look to shield this up. And unfortunately, we do get the debuff on this one. So they might not shield this. They do decide to shield though. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and swap now into Alomomola. And I don't think that a Zap Cannon will KO. I'm kind of hoping they throw it here so that I can find out. But they just throw the Tri-Attack, and we're going to be able to Waterfall down. It wasn't all that risky to call that bait because the Castform still had enough health that they were going to have to get to a charge move on the Castform anyways. So really, it didn't matter whether the Alomomola did get one shot by a Zap Cannon, because Castform could still come in and win that matchup. I am rewarded with a Latios here, which is quite nice. So we're going to look to silver pin-up that. Ideally, I'd just be using the pin-ups and saving the silver pin-ups, but I don't have a lot of Ultra Balls, so I'm going to use those silver pin-ups just because I can. And you can see here, these were a little while ago, so I'm planning up to 32.42 there. We'll go ahead and get into the next set. It's a nice 3 and 2 there, I think. So, all right, here we are, getting into our first matchup against Dab Sariking. Castform into Medicham. So you guys have seen me play this a few times. Going to go for Weather Ball, and able to get to the Weather Ball here, and should be able to do 2 more Embers and then swap into the Alomomola. 1, 2, swap, and we do successfully catch the Psychic, and we actually get the Waterfall through, which is quite nice. So they are actually looking to stay in. Now they decide to swap out into Slowbro. I'm pretty pleased about getting that energy advantage because what that's going to mean is I can get to a Hydro Pump before they get to a Psychic. And that's likely going to mean that they don't want to shield. Yeah, they don't shield, so this is much better for us than previously when we had to, when they shielded the Hydro Pump. So you can see we got them quite low. And then at this point, I'm going to come in with Castform, mostly so as not to reveal what my second Pokemon is. We did sneak in an Ember. We're going to shield up the Psychic here, and then we are not quite able to Ember down, so we're actually going to have to double shield here. The Psychic would just deal way too much damage from the Shadow. And then this Medicham's coming back in. We're going to build up to close to double Weather Ball and then throw. They did throw a Psychic, so they don't really have much in the way of energy. They actually decide to shield, and we're going to be able to outpace them to the second Weather Ball. They could have gone for a power-up punch there, but it would not have dealt enough damage to KO, and they actually decide to double shield, and then we CMP tie. So we're looking pretty good here. We can swap now into our Wormadam, and this should be game over here. I think that one Surf is going to be enough to put it low enough to Waterfall down. They do get to the Bug Buzz, but that does not KO. And we're actually going to look to build up to the back-to-back if we can. Oh, actually, no, we're not going to... Sorry, that matchup against Wormadam is not quite as good as I thought. So there's where you're sort of missing the extra bulk of the Alomomola. So unfortunately, not able to win that. Trying to think of what I could have done differently there. That's sort of what I sort of think. I guess maybe what I needed to do was only was not double shield the Castform. Tough to say. Alright, Charizard on the lead. So I'm going to swap into Alomomola right away. Again, Castform versus Charizard, pretty neutral matchup, but with 2 better counters, you really have no reason to stay. We're going to throw the Psychic here against this Clefable and force the shield. They definitely are going to want to maintain switch advantage because we do have such a powerful matchup in the back against that Charizard. The Meteor Mash actually doesn't KO. I think they must have undercharged that, but we can come in with the Castform now and look to farm down. And they're going to come in now with the Charizard, and so I'm going to build up a lot of energy here, and I'm fine to take either a Blast Burn or a Dragon Claw on the Castform because it's not going to deal too much damage. So they do go for Dragon Claw. I'm going to go into Milotic now, and it's a Wigglytuff in the back. So we should be in a pretty decent spot here. We can go for the Waterfall, and we do get a shield. and we should definitely be able to get to another waterfall before they take us out. Yeah, able to get to another waterfall, and now we've got 2 shields for our Castform in the back with a lot of loaded energy against that Charizard. The Surf doesn't actually quite KO, and so we do simultaneous KO, but I've got 2 shields now, and these Weather Balls, the 2 Weather Balls are almost certainly going to be enough to KO. It is resisted damage, but Charizard's pretty squishy. Yeah, that's definitely going to be more than enough. So looking pretty good here. Gonna take it out. So even though we didn't get either of our Waterfallers against the Fire type, the double Charmers in the back, the Waterfallers can handle those pretty well. Milotic just gets to those Surfs quickly enough to really start to pressure the shields, and obviously Alomomola is so bulky that the Charm damage takes a long time to add up there. So, alright, Castform into Clefable. This is a pretty good matchup, and they're going to swap out into their own Castform. I can go straight to Milotic here. I was making a gut call here. I decided to throw because I was hoping that they wouldn't be able to make it to a charge move, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to have to shield up a Solar Beam. I didn't think that this was enough energy for Solar Beam. I misjudged how much energy they had, and they're actually able to KO, so that's not great for us. But what we're going to do is come in with Castform and farm all this health down for a lot of energy. So we're going to have to take a Weather Ball, but it is resisted, so it's not a big deal. You guys can see that doesn't deal too much damage, so now we've got a ton of energy on our Castform for whatever's coming in. And it's a Slowbro. We're going to go straight for that Solar Beam here. Hopefully they think I'm baiting. That's really what we need, is for them to think I'm baiting. They do not call the bait, but we are going to swap into our Alomomola here. Definitely need to start shielding. We've got 2 shields. We've got to start blocking this psychic damage from the Slowbro. And they're staying in, which is actually giving me an ability to potentially win this match. They come in with Clefable. I'm just going to go straight for the Hydro Pump here. I don't want to have to take too much Charm damage. I know that Alomomola needs to be able to take out that Slowbro, and Hydro Pump does not quite KO, but it's actually gives us enough to farm down. They have a charge move, but we're going to look to shield up the charge move. We got a Waterfall through, which is great because it means that we have the energy for the Psychic, so I undertap that to make sure I get this Psychic off. And then we're going to go into Castform. Guys, I made a mistake here. I should have let that Confusion KO the Alomomola. Fortunately, I'm still able to get to that Weather Ball, but because I swapped in and the Confusion went through, it meant that the Confusion damage transferred over to Castform, which really put me very close to not being able to make the Weather Ball with the Castform. So the better play there was to let the Alomomola go down and then to swap to Castform so that I had 1 Confusion less damage, because the Alomomola was not going to make it to another charge move, and the 1 extra Waterfall really doesn't make too much difference. So definitely should have just let the Alomomola go down. I know it's generally best practice not to let yourself get farmed down, but that was a situation where it wasn't even going to give them any more energy. I just had to let the Confusion go through. So fortunately, I was still able to make it, but it was very, very close. Castform coming up really big, surviving that Confusion, and getting off the Weather Ball. Alright, up against NFN Lion here, we have Castform into Electrode, so this is definitely where we want to see it. Against Electrode, what I like to do is try and get an extra Ember through on the first Volt Switch, and I'm definitely going to shield everything from this Electrode. I am fully willing to double shield here to try and get make sure that my water types don't face it. They get an extra Volt Switch in, which is really not great for me, but they do not shield the charge move, which is great for me. So I can shield up this discharge and then look to Ember down, and this is going to give me a lot of stored energy on my Castform. Definitely going to look to swap out into Milotic here, and the reason I'm swapping out there is because there's a good chance that that stored energy on the Castform is going to be more useful down the road. And I've got 2 Waterfallers in the back, so I know that likely I just need 1 to take care of the Charizard. Well, not likely. I obviously just need one. And here I can force a couple shields on this Clefable, and I'm actually able to take it out. So pretty good for me. Charizard's coming in. I can now come in with a Alomomola, and this is a very powerful matchup. Blast Burn only does about a third of my health. So you guys can see Blast Burn comes through. I can very comfortably survive another one, and I can just Waterfall this all the way down. Yeah, Dragon Claw coming through now, and the Waterfall goes through and takes them out. The fire types in the back really have a tough time against this lineup. So if you're finding that fire types in the back are giving you a hard time, this is a great team to use. So getting into the last battle here, we have Blue Arrow 757, so we'll have to see what they're going to bring. We've got Castform into Scolipede. This is a very good matchup for us. They go into Magcargo. This is the dream. Milotic can come into this and farm down with Waterfall very, very safely. You can leave with a fair bit of stored energy. Likely the Scolipede's going to come back in. Yeah, Scolipede's coming back in, but we're going to be able to get to 2 Surfs quite easily against this. So one Surf going through here, they let it go through, so they get quite low off that. We're going to go for another Surf, which is going to get them, well, it's going to take them out or force a shield. They actually let it go. And they've got an Alomomola in the back. So they're putting everything on the Alomomola. I'm going to be able to get to a Surf here. And basically what I need to do is chip this enough that my own Alomomola can win. So we're going to go get as much waterfall damage as we can. Going to actually come into Castform here because what I want to do is force them to throw their energy. Basically, the worst thing to happen would be for me to come into my own Alomomola, take a Psychic, and have my defense fall. So they throw a Psychic here, and now that they've thrown a Psychic, I'm quite confident I can come into my own Alomomola. Even if they get a defense fall, we're looking pretty good. They didn't even shield up the Weather Ball as it happens, so they were getting very low, and that's going to be a good game because we can definitely win that mirror matchup so far ahead on health. All right, so able to go 4-1 in that set, 7-3 for the 2 sets, so pretty good. Like I said, I've had so much fun with this team. I've climbed up to about 33, 20 in the rating now, so pretty pleased. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.